Hello and welcome to Yoga with Ashlyn. This will be a full moon yoga flow intended to help you find your center, ground into the present moment, and release what's no longer serving you. Feel free to put on some gentle background music. I will link my relaxing yoga playlist down below, or just enjoy the silence. Let's get started. We will begin on our mat in easy pose or a seated position. The full moon is all about connecting to the heart chakra. So when you're ready, we'll inhale to reach the arms up overhead, clasp the hands, and bring them down to heart center. We will begin to just take a few deep breaths here, allowing your mind and body to arrive here on your mat. Seeing if you can take your inhale deep into the low belly, and then as you exhale, expand and extend that exhale, allowing all of your old air out before you take another breath in. We'll take a few deep breaths just like that. Maybe noticing if the head and the neck are a little bit tense here. You can always do a couple of neck rolls, maybe drop the chin to the chest, and then drop the back of the head towards the mat. Again, maybe rolling to the right and to the left, loosening up the head and the neck here. We'll come back to center. We're going to go ahead and start to move towards the top of the mat. So bringing your hands out in front of you. We'll bring those knees underneath the body. And we're going to go right into a child's pose here. So we'll bring those big toes to touch, the knees as wide as the mat. And then we'll walk those fingertips out, sink the hips down to the heels. And then eventually start to melt the forehead towards the mat. If you need a block or a blanket underneath the head, always feel free to bring the earth closer to you. We just want to feel some opening and some stretching in the chest and the shoulders here. So once you arrive and you're comfortable, we'll just come back to the breath. Deep breath into the low belly, full breath out. We'll be here for just a moment. We'll take one more deep breath in, maybe sighing it out as you exhale. And when you're ready, we'll ground down into the hands, lift the forehead, and walk those fingertips to the right side of your mat. Maybe bring that left hand over the right. And we'll breathe deep, getting a nice stretch into the left side of the body. When you're ready, we'll find an inhale and start to lift up out of this side, walking the fingertips through center and taking it over to the left. Again, maybe reaching that right hand over the left hand and breathing deep into the right side of the body to get a nice gentle stretch here. One more breath here on this left side. And then as you find that next inhale, we'll walk the fingertips back through center for one last breath here in this extended child's pose. Again, maybe sighing it out into your mat, releasing. And then on that next inhale, we'll start to bring the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees come underneath the hips, finding some alignment here in our tabletop position. You want to feel strong and stable here. We'll take a breath in and a full breath out. And then on that next inhale, we'll shift the gaze, drop the belly towards the mat. And as you exhale, we'll tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, reach through the shoulders. Again, inhale to drop the belly low, shift the gaze. And exhale to tuck everything in and really push the earth away. So inhaling to drop into our cow pose. And exhale to round into our cat pose. We'll take 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale to drop the belly low, and exhale to reach through the shoulders, tuck everything in. Last time, inhale to stretch the front side of the body, and exhaling to stretch the back side of the body. So we'll come back through that center tabletop position here. Breathe in, breathe out. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale to reach those right fingertips forward and the left toes reach back. We want to draw the navel to the spine here. Pull that left hip back. Those toes curl towards the face. Hands and fingers are active here. If this feels good for you, you can stay here, or you can kick up that back foot and reach those right fingers back for the top of the foot or the toes. We'll take this sunbird position here. Maybe you take a deep breath in, exhale to pull the toes up just a little bit more. One more deep breath in here, and then as you exhale, we'll reach everything out long and then bring it down to meet the mat. Maybe we sway the hips from side to side, roll out the wrist, and then we'll come back to meet in that tabletop for the other side. So find an inhale, reach the left fingertips forward, and the right toes reach back. Again, draw the navel to the spine, pull the hip down, the toes curl towards the face. If this feels good, we can stay here, or if we'd like to take it a little deeper for full sunbird, we can kick up that back foot and reach the fingertips back for the top of the foot or the toes. Take your time here, notice what feels best for you. Maybe leaving them stretched out long feels good, or maybe we take a deep breath in and exhale to pull those toes up just a little bit higher. Find your edge, don't go past it. One more deep breath in. And then we'll exhale to release everything back out long, big stretch, and then down to meet your mat. Again, maybe sway the hips from side to side, roll out that right wrist, and we'll come back to center. When you're ready, we're going to move into our first downward facing dog. So we'll tuck those toes under, inhale to lift the knees, and then exhale to send those hips up and back, downward facing dog. So we can pedal out and bend each knee here, walking out your dog. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, maybe even inhaling to come up on the toes and exhaling to sink the heels back down. And then find an inhale, shift the gaze, and we'll walk those feet up towards the hands to the top of the mat and find a forward fold. On your next inhale, we'll slide those fingertips up the shins, halfway lift, flat back, flat spine, and then we'll exhale back down, forward fold. We'll bring those fingertips down towards the mat, letting them drag and hang as we draw the chin to the chest and slowly roll up, coming to our mountain pose. So we can adjust here, get comfortable, open up the palms to the front of the room, and then we'll find that inhale again and sweep the arms up towards the top of the room, and then exhale, hands through heart center, back to that forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, keep the gaze down at your mat, and then exhale, forward fold. Keeping it moving here, we'll bring those hands down to the mat, step one set of toes back and then the other, plank pose, and then slowly lower the belly down to the mat. Continuing to open the heart here, we'll draw the chin to the chest and slowly roll up, coming to our baby cobra or cobra pose here. And then we'll melt back down, curl the toes under, inhale to push up to bent knees. And then we'll tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. From here, we'll ground down through that left foot and inhale to reach the right leg up high. We'll pause here, stack the hips, and draw a couple circles with the knees, maybe noticing how the right hip is feeling here, a little body awareness. On your next inhale, we'll send that leg back out long, and then as you exhale, we'll draw it in knee to nose. Inhale to reach, and exhale to draw it in, knee to nose. One last time, inhale, reach, and exhale, draw it in, really hug it in this time, and we're going to step it through to our lunge, drop our back knee to a low lunge. We'll make sure that that right knee is over the right ankle. We feel stable here, and then we will inhale to reach those arms up and back. We're going to find a little mini back bend here. We want to pull those thumbs backwards while really opening up through the chest and the heart center here. We won't be here long. We can start to float those hands back down towards the mat. We'll lift up that back knee, step the toes back to plank, and then send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. We'll reset, readjust, and then we'll ground down through that right foot. Inhale to reach the left leg up high. Again, stack the hip, draw a couple circles with the knee, and maybe tune in. How's the left hip feeling today? When you're ready, we'll find that inhale, reach that left leg up high, and then draw it in knee to nose. Again, inhale, reach and lift, and exhale, tuck it in knee to nose. One last time, inhale, reach, and exhale, really hug it in, tuck it in, and step it through. High lunge, drop the back knee to low lunge. Make sure that that left knee is over the left ankle and you feel stable here. And when you're ready, we'll inhale to reach those arms up and back. Again, we want to pull the thumbs back, soften through the chest here, soften through the chin and the neck, and really open up our heart center. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll float those fingertips back down to the mat. Lift that back right knee, step the left toes back to plank, and then send those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, a full empty out, maybe through a sigh down into your mat. And then we'll shift the gaze and make our way to the top of the mat, finding a forward fold. We're going to take that heart opening sequence a couple of more times. We'll find an inhale to slide the fingertips up the shins, flat back, flat spine, and then find that forward fold. When you're ready, we'll plant the hands, step one set of toes back, and then the other, come to plank pose, and then lower the body down towards the mat. So we'll draw that chin into the chest and slowly roll up. Maybe we take cobra this time, soften and open here. And then exhale down into your mat, maybe releasing anything that no longer serves you through your exhale. Find an inhale. We're going to come through that tabletop position, bringing the knees under the body. We'll tuck the toes and send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. You know where we're going from here. We'll inhale to lift, and then exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, we lift and reach, and exhale, knee to nose. One last time, inhale, reach. And exhale to step it through, drop that back knee down to the mat. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale to reach those arms up and back. Shift that gaze upwards, find some space in between the chin and the chest. Pull those thumbs back, big breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll float those fingertips back down towards the mat. We'll lift that back knee up, step those right toes back to plank, and send those hips to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Give yourself a moment to readjust. And then when you're ready, we'll ground down through that right foot and send the left toes up and back. As you exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to lift and reach, and exhale, knee to nose. We've got one more time. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, hug it in, step it through, drop that back knee, and we'll come to our low lunge. Inhale to reach up and back. Again, pull those thumbs back. Really find some space in the heart center here. See if you can take it a little bit deeper this time. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll bring those hands down to the mat. Lift that back knee. Step the left toes back and send those hips up to downward facing dog. Beautiful job. We'll take a breath in and a breath out. And then we'll start to make our way up to our forward fold. Find that next inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale to fold. So we'll take this one more time. Plant the hands, step both set of toes back, and lower the body down to the mat. We'll draw that chin into the chest and slowly roll up to our baby cobra or cobra. Nice big stretch here. And then exhale to melt back down. We'll tuck those toes under and push up to our tabletop position. From here, we'll lift the knees and send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So again, one last time here. Inhale to reach the right toes and exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, we reach, and exhale, knee to nose. Last time on this right side. Inhale, reach, and exhale to step it through. Drop that back knee, and we're ready to inhale and reach up. Last little mini back bend on this side. Really pull those thumbs back, shift the gaze upwards, soften and open here. And then as you exhale, release back down to your mat, lift the knee, step the toes back, And lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. We've got one last side here. Inhale to reach and exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, we reach and exhale, knee to nose. One last time, inhale, reach, and then step that left foot through. Drop the right knee, and we're ready to inhale and reach up and back. Find that mini back bend. Again, really see if you can soften and open up through the chest and the throat here, finding some space in the heart chakra. And then when you're ready, we'll meet those hands down on the mat. Lift that back knee, step the toes back, and lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So we're going to go ahead and step right up into our forward fold. On your next inhale, we'll slide those fingertips up the shins, halfway lift, and then melt back down, forward fold. So we'll plant the hands and step those toes back to downward facing dog, just finding that position here. And from downward facing dog, we'll drop the knees down to the mat, coming to tabletop position. We're going to swing those legs out to one side, coming onto our seat. You may need to scoot forward a couple of times, and then we're going to come to gently lie onto the backs to relax. Lots of movement here. Now we're going to guide the body through some relaxation to help us release what's no longer serving us with this full moon. So we can start by keeping those feet planted on the mat and windshield wipering the knees from side to side. This helps to release any tightness or tension in the hips and just allow us to soften and come back to center. So maybe taking a few deep breaths in and practicing that expansive breath out, releasing all of the air out before you take another breath in. We'll be here for just a moment. When you're ready, we'll bring those knees back through center, and we're going to draw the knees into the chest here and either wrap the hands or the arms around the knees or the shins and give yourself a big hug. I feel like we're all always in need of a big hug, and what better than a hug from ourselves? You can either stay still or rock from side to side, giving yourself a little low back massage, whatever feels good. Continuing to stay focused and connected to that deep breath in and that full breath out. Maybe using your exhale to start to release what's no longer serving you. Next, we're going to go ahead and send those feet upwards a little bit, and we're going to grab up for happy baby. So you can either grab onto your big toes, the outside of the feet, or the inside of the feet. Maybe explore what feels best for you. You can just rock from side to side. You could even keep one leg in and extend one leg out as you're rocking from side to side, or maybe just stay still, or simply rock side to side as I am here in the video. We'll take a couple breaths. To come out of this pose, we will just bring those knees back together and then guide the soles of the feet back down towards the mat, where we will begin to move into our final pose, reclined butterfly pose. We'll bring those soles of the feet together, the knees drop to either side of the mat, allowing gravity to do its work. We don't need to push them or force them down. A few options for the hands. We can either keep both hands on the belly, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly feels nice. And if neither of these feel really comfortable for you, you can always reach those arms up overhead into cactus or goalpost as I am in the video. We'll take a moment here to start to become aware of the grounded feeling that this pose can bring us. After doing so much opening in the heart center and the hips and softening, Once you feel grounded and safe, I want to guide you through a few breaths that can be helpful in releasing these things that no longer feel aligned with you, your values, your life, or who you are today. In life, we are always evolving and constantly changing, and so we need practices just like these. I want to give you permission to truly let go in a very intentional and gentle way, releasing what no longer serves you in a beautiful way to create space for what does. On your next inhale, I want you to fill up the body with air, and as you do so, collect all of these things that just no longer align or feel good in your body. And as you exhale, I want you to sigh it out and release all of these things with gratitude and ease. We'll go ahead and do that one more time, inhaling to gather up all of this stuff. And then exhale and truly release and create space for all of the beautiful manifestations and goals you've been working so hard for. Thank you for being vulnerable with yourself today. We can start to gently close the knees back together. And I encourage you to roll off to your favorite side, maybe resting your head on your arm, and take a few deep breaths. If you'd like to stay here a bit longer, you can feel free to do so and rest and ground for as long as you need to. If you'd like to close out this practice, you can take one more deep breath in and a full exhale out, and start to push into the earth with that top hand and come up over into a seat. It was an honor guiding you through this full moon flow today, and I appreciate you for showing up for yourself. Showing up on your mat is a generous act of love and kindness, not only just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Again, thank you for showing up here and flowing with me today. Make sure to come back over to my channel for the new moon flow to soften and call in all of those goals and manifestations you've been working so hard for. Happy full moon and namaste.